Because this is a crime that happens so quick, because it's milliseconds, and attacks can come from all over the globe at once, it's extremely hard for a legislature to put together a body of law and say, this is click fraud, this is illegal. Essentially, what we're talking about is a crime of intentions. The problem here is a fraudulent click is when somebody clicks on a link with the intention that's different than what the website owner wants. How do you criminalize somebody's intentions? That's very difficult to do, and lawmakers haven't come up with a solution to that yet. There aren't any real laws specifically targeting this issue. And so what that does is it creates an environment where nobody's really trying to police the problem because nobody really can have a handle of the scope of the problem. This isn't a problem that exists just in one country. This exists across the globe. And so in order to tackle that, you need something that's larger than just what one country can do by itself, what one set of laws can do by itself. There are certainly examples of law enforcement agencies that have tried in the past to use a couple of different existing laws. For example, there's the Wire Fraud Act in the United States that has been used in very limited cases, but the problem at the end of the day is there's no body of law behind this because legislatures don't have much of an interest in this problem because this problem is very hard to tackle. Because this problem exists across the globe and actors are sitting on a computer that's connecting from one computer to another computer to another computer. It's hard to identify where the attack is coming from and who is in charge of enforcing the existing claims that are out there. The courts that have dealt with this have usually handled a very narrow scope of the problem, and they usually end up being claims having to deal with contracts issues. But that's not really what's happening here. What's happening here is somebody is being targeted and somebody is losing money. Who do you go after? Well, the easy target is just Google because it's Google services. But Google isn't really the problem here. The problem isn't Google necessarily because Google's not clicking on your ads. There's somebody else out there. How do you find that person? It's almost impossible to do that. What can happen, and what we've seen in the past, is a number of people have tried to sue Google or Yahoo or other companies that have a big public face. And they've created these class action lawsuits. And they haven't entirely been very successful. Number one, extremely time consuming. And number two, like we said, how do you define click fraud? The courts don't even know how to do it. And so what happens is these suits end up getting pushed aside or settled, and there hasn't been a very meaningful step forward to creating a body of case law that's needed to push these cases forward.